Hello guys, welcome to our class of number 12, and in this class we are going to add sounds in the game. So right now our game, it's basically complete. We have the enemies. Right here we have a score, we have bullets, we have the amount of life that we can lose, and then if we shoot at the ghost, they vanish, and we can also go here to the ammo and pick some bullets. But I don't know if you guys can feel this, but it feels a little bit empty. And one of the reasons of why it feels empty in the game is because it does not have any kind of sound. And that's what we are going to change today, step by step, adding a lot of different sounds in the game that will give a little bit of life to the project. So right now we can always add a lot of different sounds in the game, but in this class I'm gonna teach you guys how to add the sound of first the background, so the woods, the forest. Second, we're going to see how to add the sounds to the ghost and how to make that sound 3D and local based, so it only plays when the ghost is near us. Third, we will add a sound to reload. And lastly, we will add a sound of shooting. Right, so of course you can always add more sounds, and of course we're going to also add footstep sounds in the game. So you can always add more sounds to the game, but I feel that those sounds are already going to give a lot of the life, of the color in the game, because it feels kind of a little bit empty right now. So you have the files to the sounds. So what you're going to do, you're going to go to the class, you're going to download that folder right here. So here you're going to extract the folder, and then that folder you're going to basically drag and drop into assets. All right. Doing this, Unity will import all the sounds right here. So we have footstep sounds, we have the ghost sounds, we have the laser gun, we have the nature sound, and we also have the reload. So we're gonna use all these 5 sounds and implement into the game. Alright, so as you may know, we already did it in the last project, but basically we're going to need to add audio source to the game. But this time we're gonna make a little bit different, because you're gonna have to need several audio sources in order to don't make one sound stop when other begins. So I'm gonna make several sound sources in the game, attached to different components, and even maybe you're going to need to create a new game object just to serve to be our footstep. So it's going to be a little bit different, but we're going to go step by step, and it's going to be very easy. Alright, so first let's add the sound of nature. So right here we have the sound of nature. The sound of nature makes sense to be in the camera because it's going to be a background sound. So it makes sense to be all time playing to the player. So always the background sounds are attached to the player. Usually they are attached to the player because they doesn't need to be localized in the game. So here on the main camera, I'm going to go add component, and I'm going to write audio source. This audio source right here, it's going to have as an audio clip nature. It's going to play on awake, and it's also going to loop. So that's important because I don't want this to end never, basically. So right now, if we play the game, you can already kind of feel into the place. Can you hear it? The bird singing, the vegetation sound, the leaf sounds. It already gives more kind of a ambience to the game. So it's pretty cool. Alright, other sound that we're going to need to do, it's the ghost sound, and that sound is going to be localized. So it's going to be, it's only going to play if we are near the ghost. And of course, we need to add this sound to the prefab. So when we add it to the prefab, all ghosts is going to have the sound. I have two types of ghosts, but one of them is a variant from the ghost. So if I only change the ghost one, basically the ghost premium is going to change as well. So I just need to change the ghost one. Of course, if you want to have any other kind of sounds, it actually serves to all sounds that I'm saying right here. If you wanna, oh, I don't like this nature sound, I wanna put other kind of sounds, feel free to change this. It can basically work with any kind of sound that you put there. Alright, so if you want to have different sounds to Ghost Premium and to Ghost, you just need to do to the Ghost and then the Ghost Premium change the audio clip. In my case, I'm gonna use the same sound. So here in Ghost, I'm gonna double click on it. And here in Ghost, I'm going to add component, and I'm going to add a audio source component to it. This audio source is going to be a little bit different. Of course, I want to put the audio source in the audio clip is going to be Ghost. All right, it's going to play on awake and it's going to be on looping the same way as nature. It's not going to be activated from a script or from something like this. The thing is, I'm going to change one very important step right here. Is going to be spatial blend, and this spatial blend by default is put to set as 2D. I'm going to change this to completely 3D. All right. When we do it, it's only going to play the sound in this bluish sphere right here where you have the sound icon. So what we need to do is basically make this sphere bigger, just to cover an area in which it's going to play the sound of the ghost. Doing this, we can go back and then test, and of course you can leave it higher. So if I'm gonna outrun the ghost real quick. Okay, I can see them right there. I'm just gonna shoot and then just so you can take a look and see how they are with only one. That's one sound of one ghost. If I go closer, I have this. So I think it's a little bit too much. So what I'm going to do is just basically make the sphere a little bit smaller and test again. Okay, so I have one. I'm gonna try to outrun this one. I can kind of hear it, but it's far away. And when it comes closer to me, it gets higher. Alright, just one little bit tweak that I want to add is I'm just gonna make the volume half, 0.4 in the ghost, just because I think it's too high. I'm gonna shoot at them. Alright, I think that works. You see, I can kind of hear it. If I'm not looking at it, I can hear it approaching me. You see, the sound's it's increasing. So I know it's approaching me to the left part. If I take a look, oh, there it is. Alright, so that's, yeah, and of course, if I kill all the ghosts, I don't have any sound. Alright, so we did the ghost sound, we did the nature sound, and for sounds that does not need scripts, that's it. Because other sounds we're going to need to add script in it. So right now let's add the sound, the script to the gun. So here on the gun, basically I'm going to go to main camera, bit gun, and the script that is going to activate the sound is going to be gun controller. Alright? And I'm going to add the audio source to the bit gun. I think it make more sense. So on the bit gun, I'm going to go add component. Again, audio source. And then I'm going to attach to the audio clip, I'm going to find laser gun right here. That's the one that I want to use. Laser gun. I'm not going to make it play on awake because I don't want to have the sound on awake. And I'm not going to make it loop. Alright? So here, it's not going to play the sound. It's only going to play the sound when I shoot the gun. So that's what I'm going to do on the script. So on the script, I'm just going to open the gun controller. I'm going to go here in gun controller, edit script. It's loading right here. So in the gun controller, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a variable that is going to be responsible for the audio source that I'm going to play. So public audio source. And then the audio source is going to be laser gun. All right. And then basically what I'm going to do is, if I shoot, that's the function that I'm shooting. So if I click on the mouse and I have ammo, so that's everything that is going on when I'm shooting. Another thing that I'm going to do is just basically I'm going to laser gun dot play, and that's it. That's it. It's just going to play it. All right. Right now, what I can do, I just need to link on the gun controller the laser gun. So I'm just gonna go over here and select the bit gun one. The bit gun one is the laser one, that one. All right. So right now, if I play the game, I have this. I have the ghosts and I have. Oh. All right. So cool. The other sound that we're going to do, it's the picking up ammo sound that it doesn't do any sound right now. This sound is going to be, the audio source is going to be on the ammo, so we're going to need to add on the prefab of the ammo, that one. But it's going to play from the player controller. That's the guy that have the scripts of entering the tree and activating, pressing E. So that's the one that we're going to need to find. All right. So basically, I'm gonna double click on the prefab on the ammo, and I'm going to add an audio source like we did before. Again, this sound, it's going to be, I'm gonna select right here. It's going to be the reload sound. It's not going to be on awake. It's not going to be on loop. All right. And then here on the player controller script, I'm going to open this player controller script. I'm going to do basically what I did to the gun controller. I'm going to add a variable audio source, and I'm going to put reload FX, right? Just to be easy to remember. And that reload effects, I'm gonna go where I'm actually opening I'm actually reloading, and that's on update right here. You can see that I'm increasing the ammo right here. I'm just gonna jump online and then reload FX, play. Okay, just one thing that I need to do here on controller, I have the variable reload FX none. I'm going to click here and set the ammo. And now let's see how it goes. So I have nature, I have ghost, I have gun. Let's say that I shoot everything. If I go right here, I have yeah, that's cool. So I already have basically all the sounds. It's just one sound that I need to have right now, and this sound's going to be, it's going to need a little bit more of scripting, but it's not going to be difficult. It's going to be the footstep sounds, and it's going to need a little bit of scripting because it's going to behave differently depending on the way that I act. So basically the footstep sounds, it's only going to play if I'm moving. That's the number one thing that it needs to do, is only going to play when I'm moving. And basically, if I'm running, the pitch of the sound needs to be higher, almost double, like around 50% higher. So why? Because it's going to do the same sound but faster. So you could use a different sound, so you could change the audio to another clip, like a running clip, but I'm going to use the same one just to show you guys how you can approach using the same kind of clip. I think it's a pretty cool way to save a little bit of memory and to use less components, and it's actually easier than having two different clips. But just keep in mind that you can, all right? Okay, so this, as you can see, we already have an audio source in main camera, it's nature. We have an audio source in beat gun, it's the shoot gun, it's a laser gun. We have an audio source in ammo, and we have also in the ghost. So we don't have any place to put these footstep sounds. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna go to the main camera, I'm going to right click on the mouse, and I'm going to go with empty inside of the main camera, and I'm gonna name this footstep. FX actually. So I'm just creating one game object that is going to be responsible to having this audio source and having this footstep sound. So this footstep, I'm gonna go with add component, and then I'm gonna add a new component, a new audio source component. I'm going to select the footstep sounds to it, So footstep right here. It's not gonna play on awake, and it's going to be on loop. All right, because sometimes you're running a lot, and I'm just wanna loop this sound. If it ends, I don't wanna just stop making sounds. All right, this script that we're going to use is going to be player controller. So I'm gonna open this script. I'm going to need to add another audio source, and this one is going to be for our footstep. So footstep, okay. And then basically here on the movement controller, we're going to check, we're gonna jump a little few lines here after we declare horizontal input and vertical input. We're going to have two ifs. The first if is if horizontal input it's different than zero, or vertical input is different than 0. So if one of them is different than 0, it means that my character is moving. And another thing that I'm going to check, and the footstep is playing needs to be negative. So it means that I don't want to play it when it's already playing. So I have like almost 3 kind of information right here. I need my character to be moving, or in other words, I need my horizontal input to be different than 0, or my vertical input to be different than 0. And at the same time, I don't want to play the footstep if it's already playing. So it's playing needs to be false. So that's why I put this exclamation sign before it, because if it's true, it's going to turn to false and it's not going to enter the if. All right, so if this, then basically what I'm going to do is footstep, it's going to play. All right, and when it's going to stop, if horizontal input is equal to 0 and vertical input is equal to 0, it means that my character is not moving at all. So what I'm going to do, it's footstep, it's going to stop. All right, so it's going to play and it stopped. Let's check it out. Let's see how it goes right now. Just one thing that I need to do, I need to select right here and select footstep. That's the footstep. Okay, let's see how it goes. Let's see if it's working. So I'm gonna play the game. Okay, can you hear the sounds? And you see if I'm running, doesn't really make any difference, right? It's too slow. So yeah, that's what I'm going to change right now. It is too slow. So when I'm in speed, when I enter the move controller, when I'm going to say the default, its pitch, it's going to be already higher than the currently. It's going to be around 1.7. All right. But if I am running, the pitch, it's going to increase a lot. And you can go crazy with this. You can put any kind of number. I'm just going to put 2/4. Just don't go very, very crazy with it, because maybe it's going to sound a little bit odd. All right, but anyway, let's test it again. When I'm walking, I have this kind of footstep. And when I run, I have... Okay, that's cool. Oop, I'm out of bullets. Let me go back where it's the ammo stuff. There it is. Where's the last ghost? Come on. Yeah, I guess the last ghost was just a little bit too afraid to chase me in the end. Alright, anyway, that's all the sounds of the game. One thing that I'm going to just fix a little bit is on the footstep sound. I'm just going to make the volume a little bit lower, just because it doesn't make sense to have a very high footstep sounds. It's more kind of a background sound, you know. It doesn't make sense to be very high. But you can hear it if you play it. All right, so that's it. That's the sounds that our game have. So basically our game, it's basically done right now. We have scores, you can lose your life, but we're going to continue just to finish the game and just put the cherry at the bottom, at the top of this cake that is our game. All right, so guys, thank you very much, and see you on the next class. Bye bye.